Welcome to the Sister Cousins Podcast.
Well, look at us out here podcasting.
Yep. Welcome to the podcast world.
We've been talking about this for a minute.
Yep.
We're finally here. Our
Yep.
first podcast.
I know. I can't believe it.
I know. My name is Erin,
And I'm Stacy.
and we are
Sister Cousins.
Some of you might not know what a sister cousin is, and some of you may have an understanding of sister cousins, but it might not be what our dynamic of sister cousins is. So, Stacy, tell them what sister cousins means in this dynamic.
Okay, so Erin and I are double first cousins, which means we are first cousins on our dad's side of the family, and we're first cousins on our mom's side of the family. So basically, two sisters married two brothers. And that's how sister cousins came about.
So we are as close to being sisters as scientifically possible without actually being sisters. We're cousins. So we are sister cousins. Okay. Now that everybody's up to speed, let's tell you a little bit about us and how we got here. You want to go first?
Sure. Okay, so I've been married for 22 and a half years. I have two children, a 20-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son. Now, God always has a sense of humor and knows that I don't really like the summer, so both of my children have summer birthdays. And yeah, that's how that worked out. So they will be 21 and 13 this summer. All right. So I was an only child for 11 years. And then my little sister was born. And bless, she grew up thinking she had two moms. And she really brought a great dynamic to our family. So we'll mention her later on. And then fast forward. So I am a teacher. I have been for 25 years. And when I'm not teaching, I love spending time with my family. And the things that I like to do with my family is trail walking out near various lakes and parks. And we've been all over Johnston County to several different parks doing trail walking. And I graduated from East Carolina University. Go Pirates. And yeah. Oh, even though my mom, and this is no shun to my mom or anything like that. I don't want it to think that like I'm going to sit here and bash my mom or anything, but she really didn't teach me a lot about cooking or anything like that. And then her mother was this type of person where it's like, get out of my kitchen when I'm cooking and just let me do my job. So I didn't get a lot of cooking lessons growing up, but I love to cook for family and friends. It's just a thing that I've just kind of taught myself, and but I love cooking new dishes and stuff for my family and friends all the time. If you invite me over to a cookout, 9 times out of 10 what I bring is something I've never cooked before, and I don't even know if it tastes good or not. And but that's what I'm going to bring because that's just how my brain operates. And then I love fashion, and I finally feel like I have a sense of style. However, my style has many, many facets to it. And you'll probably be able to see those things throughout our different episodes. And so that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
And you're married.
Yeah, I said that to start
Oh,
with.
did you say that?
Mhm.
Oh, I missed that part. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, let's recap. I've been married for 22 and a half years. It'll be 23 in December.
Very good.
Yep.
Well, I'm also married, and I will be married 33 years this year. I was 7 when I got married. No, I'm just kidding. I was, but I've been married a long time to the same man, and we still like each other. So that's a win. I have 2 children as well. I have a son who's 30, and he is married and has 3 girls of his own. And then I have a 21-year-old daughter. So our daughters are 4 months apart. So it's a sister cousin 2.0 coming soon. We'll have them on the podcast. Um, so I work for an international nonprofit and have for this year is my 11th year. And so I get the privilege of traveling and working with kids and communities that are in pretty difficult places of the world. And I love it. Um, and I just recently went back to college and graduated from Fayetteville State University. Go Broncos! And so I'm pretty proud of that. I have now a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology. So that's pretty cool. Um, Kids, go to college when you're young. Don't wait till you're in your 50s to go to college. It is hard. But it was a great experience, and I'm very glad that I did that. And so, how Sister Cousins podcast came to be is sadly, Stacy lost her dad in
2002.
2002. And I lost my dad in 2020 and lost my mom in 2022.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
2022, 16 months later, I lost my mom. And then Stacy tragically lost her mom suddenly in
2024.
2024. And so after that, we just kind of realized, we've done life together ever since we've been born. Like Stacy was saying, we're double first cousins. So we're first cousins on our mom's side and our dad's side. So our moms were sisters, our dads were brothers. And so if we went to an event on our mom's side, we both were there. If we went to an event on our dad's side, we were all there. And so there was just nothing that we didn't share. And so after losing both of our parents, we just kind of realized like we need to be intentional with keeping this connection going, staying in contact, holding one another up. We've walked through a lot of life and a lot of things, and we're still here and we're still pretty sane. I mean, but we laugh a lot. And so we started making these like monthly dinners that we would just go to dinner and reminisce and laugh and cry and all the things. And we just said, we joked and we said, we should start a podcast because, we have a lot of stuff that we've overcome and stuff that we've been a part of. And just, we have found ways to just laugh at life because sometimes if you don't laugh, you'll cry. And so that's almost what we called the podcast. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. Because if you can find humor in the hardest things in life, then somehow it just makes it a little bit easier to get through, I think. So yeah, that's how we got here, right?
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. No. We both have always had a passion for helping people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was just born in us, and we didn't know what to do with it. And when we were younger and we were at family events, we always found ourselves really seriously not meaning to be in the center of attention because we just always made things funny and we always made the other people around us laugh. And then I realized, I was sitting there one day realizing when the life hits me the hardest, as unusual as it is, that's when all the jokes come.
Mm.
But that's really, truly how I make it through some of these things, because you just find yourself like, I don't know how in the world I'm going to get through this, or, oh, now I've come up with this thing. And we share our stories sometimes not even meaning to, and it sounds like a comedy routine, and we didn't even mean for it to be anything like that. And even sharing with each other, like Erin would mention things sometimes, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, I forgot about that," and we would laugh as if we were living through it all over again. We could remember like certain details about it or things like that, and yeah, we were like, we have really got to share this. And she called me one day and she was like, I really feel like we need to do something with this. And in my mind, I was thinking, I would love to help somebody. Like, I don't know what to do though. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all of this energy
Trauma.
and
No, I'm just kidding.
energy that I have, or or Lord busting at the seam with all these jokes I got and
Yeah.
stuff. And she called me one day and she says, "We need to do something with this." And the minute she said, and I've been thinking about it, maybe something like a podcast. I don't know if she was expecting me to be like, "Oh no, wait." When I tell you it clicked, it clicked. I was like, "That's exactly what it is. That's exactly where we need to go with this." And
And I even said, I didn't mean to interrupt you, sorry, but I even said it as like a joke almost, like, we should start a podcast. Like, but then it kind of hit different. It was like, oh, maybe
yeah,
we should start a podcast,
and then when I was on board with it, and I was like, "Yeah," and it was like we kept ping ponging off of each other, and then we can do this and we can do that and say this, and somebody else has been through these things or something similar to it. And even if you haven't gone through the exact same things that we've gone through, you've been through traumatic events. We all have. And God bless you if you haven't, but you're probably going to. And if you can't laugh through some of those situations, then I mean, it's going to eat at you. And yeah,
it's
so
going to suck a lot worse. Yeah.
we really truly want to use this podcast and this platform to help others and get people to realize, you need to laugh through life sometimes. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to laugh when you are hurting so bad. It is okay to laugh.
Laughter is truly good medicine. And I mean, we know when we need to be serious and we take serious things seriously, but we also don't take ourselves too seriously. We're both women of great faith, and we recognize, like, there's very little in life that you actually get to control. Life just happens. Life happens to you. Kids happen to you. You know, you go through phases with your kids. You go through phases with, your career. You go through phases with your spouse. You go through phases of life with friends, and life just is hard sometimes. And so we were like, we've been through some stuff in our life. Our parents grew up, so both of our dads, they were brothers. They grew up in a very rural part of North Carolina. We're both from North Carolina. And our dads grew up in a house. There were how many?
There were 7.
7 siblings, all boys and 1 girl. And they were farmers, hard workers, but great people, imperfect people, just like the rest of us. Our moms, where did we land that they grew up?
They grew up in more urban type lifestyle. But our grandparents were from rural North Carolina, actually not far from where our dads grew up. But then they moved because of jobs and everything, and then moved to a more urban area of North Carolina. So they had a little different lifestyle than our dad's family did, but still blue collar workers and very hard workers and stuff. But our moms were 2 of 4, so a little bit smaller family.
And all girls but 1 boy.
Yeah.
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 So our moms went to a family event, and our grandparents, like, I think vaguely knew each other, or maybe I forget how they were at the same location.
Okay, so like I said, our grandparents were from rural North Carolina, so they would go back to visit periodically, and they had gone back to do a family visit for like a weekend type thing. And like I said, it was close to the town where our dads lived. And so her parents actually met first. And the way it was told to me is the happening thing to do back then was to meet at this burger joint. And everybody around their age met at this burger joint and just hung out. Pretty much got burgers and fries and milkshakes and stuff like that. But you just kind of sat around and talked and hung out. And maybe even hung out in the parking lot after you ate. So her mom and dad met first, and they found out, they liked one another. And I don't really know how the story went after this, but I like to think that it went something like this because it was something similar.
We'd be
So
making up our own stories sometimes.
her
So
parents met, and my mom stayed back because, okay, so her dad is child number 1 of 7. My dad was child number 5 of 7. So big age gap there. Her mom was child number 3 of 4, and mine was child number 4 of 4. And my mom was, like, I think, an accident because the first 3 siblings were like stair steps in age, and then her mother and my mom, there were like 8 years difference in their age. So there was probably that much difference, or probably even more, from her dad to my dad in age. So back to the story. So her mom and dad, they meet, they decide they like one another and all this kind of stuff. And my mom's not there because she decides to hang out with more cousins, that are her age. And he says, hey, I'd like to see you again before you have to go back home. You're only here for the weekend. And she says, yeah, I think I can make that happen. But look, I'm not going to be able to get the car unless my little sister comes along because my parents, they don't let me go out a lot unless I bring my little sister. And he says, oh, okay, well, no problem. How old is she? And she says, she's 15. He said, seriously? I got a little brother that's 15. How about if I go bring him and then they can have somebody, they can hang out and then you and I can hang out? She says, okay. So they pick their time and place. I think it's that burger joint again. They're going to meet back up there and all this kind of stuff. Now, this part I do know is true. So the next time they see each other, here comes my mom. And then here comes her dad. He walks in. And who else walks in behind her dad is my mom's knight in shining armor. Right there. Walks in together. And, the rest is history because that was the birth of the sister cousins.
Yep. So I love that you're narrating the whole story because I didn't know about that. We can verify that with some aunts and uncles, but that's the meat of the story. So they met, and yeah, and we just did all of our life together, like literally all of our life. And so, but the funny thing is, our dads, I think, really wanted to have boys, and both of them had 2 girls. I have a sister that's 18 months older than me, and Stacy has a sister younger than her that she mentioned earlier. And so they treated us like boys. I mean, we did not play. Like, we were the flashlight holders. We were the
And if you've ever been a flashlight holder, the trauma is real with that.
Yeah,
There is a whole lot of stuff I had to work through because I was the flashlight holder. And we might have a podcast on just flashlight holding later on. I'm not
we'll
sure.
Start a support group.
Yes, you can reach out for more of that.
But both of our dads were mechanics too.
Yes,
and they both were very involved in like riding horses, showing horses. So we grew up with horses and animals. It was a lot of stuff.
I respectfully told my dad one night, because most of the time these jobs that he put me doing, I really didn't want to do. But I did it because that's what you were supposed to do. I wasn't certainly going to sit there and look at my dad and be like, no, I'm not going to help you. When he said, come on out here and let's do this or that, I just went out there with him and knew what was about to happen.
And you'd be putting an engine in a car before you know it.
Exactly. I mean, so please don't call me for your auto services, or your auto advice, but I probably do know more about a car. Probably both of us know more about a car than any girl should know that didn't actually go to school to be a mechanic.
Yeah.
But I did respectfully tell my dad one night, I hope you realize that I am a girl. I am not a boy, and I don't like doing this. I don't think he liked that too well, and the jobs didn't stop. I had to continue doing these.
Going out and feeding all kinds of animals all hours of the night. You just did it because then when your parents said you do this, you actually had to do it, or there would be a consequence, and it was not a timeout, if you know what I'm saying. But I was thinking about this the other day. We did like a practice run of our podcast. I was thinking about this the other day. What qualities do you think you got from your dad and your mom that even though in the moment you're like, I hate this, but you look back and you're like, oh, that made me this or that. Have you thought about that?
I have. I thought about it several times, especially once we started talking about the podcast and the topic and wrapping our head around where we were going with this and everything. And I thought about it because I feel that I have a great work ethic. I am not afraid to do a job that I don't want to do, but that I know that needs to be done. Um, I am, uh, um, I don't know, when somebody says, so who would like to do this first? If I've got my head wrapped around like the end product or the end goal, I'll be one of the first ones to, I'll start it, and I may start it wrong and we have to tweak it, but I'll go ahead, I'll start. So I think, having an initiative, some of those things like that, I mean,
Yeah.
I truly believe made me, I mean, going through those things, and then, yeah, I don't know. I feel like those were two big ones
Yeah.
right there.
I feel the same thing. Like our dads were hard workers. Like they were imperfect. Like I said, we all are imperfect, but they worked hard. And I think when after you lose your parents, you start to think about the things that they deposited into your life, the things that you still carry with you. And I was the same thing. The first thing to come to mind was work ethic. Like my dad and mom too, they both were hard workers. And but my dad especially, like he was always doing something, always learning something new. I remember he went through a phase where he wanted to play the steel guitar, so he learned how to play the steel guitar, and then he wanted to learn how to do something else, and so he'd be doing something else. He was always learning new things. And I think both of us, like our dads, our moms too, but our moms were more, I think, like straight laced about it.
Yeah.
But our dads love to cut up and have fun. Like both of our dads had like the best laugh. Like I'm talking like belly laugh. Like would get so tickled is what they used to call it. And that, they just laughed. And so I think we do that. We laugh a lot at ourselves. We laugh a lot at, other people, not in a mean way, but like people we love, we laugh together. We don't laugh at them. That was probably the wrong way to say that. But so just um yeah, the work ethic, the heart to serve. I remember, Lord, back in the day, people would just be coming through town and Daddy would say, y'all come eat supper at the house and then you can just stay here with us. We'd have to sleep on the floor or somebody be sleeping in a car in our garage. Like we always just had people around. Like he never ever like discriminated against anybody that was in need or needed something from somebody. You just helped them. Like you just did it and you didn't ask questions. And so I like to think we got that too. Like we want to help people. It's just in us. It's who we are. So but yeah, so our parent that's a little bit about our parents and how we came to be. But we have lots of funny stories about our growing up. So this is just kind of our intro. So I hope that you'll subscribe and I hope that you'll tune in because we'll tackle some serious stuff. We've been through a lot of grief. We've encountered a lot of loss. We've both dealt with sickness, and we both have raised kids with our husbands, and we've both um, we've
And
just
they all turned out okay too.
yeah
I think we did a fabulous job.
they're good kids. Yeah, and but we did it despite some of the things that we had to walk through. My parents divorced when I was in middle school, and that was pretty traumatic for me. And so, families aren't perfect, and we had some challenges to navigate, but it wasn't unicorns and rainbows for sure. But we learned a lot, we grew a lot, and so we want to share that.
Yes. So, like she said, just like and subscribe to this, and we will be coming up with more content about our lives and our stories and share them with you. And we hope that we can instill a good laugh for you, and maybe we can be your weekly laughter, and you'll look forward to seeing when our podcasts are posted.
She's trying to put me to work talking about a weekly podcast. We just getting started. We might see you every other week. I don't know. Just kidding. We'll be back every week, maybe. She's speaking prophetically. But that's all for now. But we'll be back. I hope you'll join us.
We'll
Signing
see.
off. We're out.